Every great transformation in human history begins with an idea. An idea so powerful that it shifts the way we see ourselves, our potential, and the world around us. Earl Nightingale and Bob Proctor, two timeless mentors, built their life's work on the understanding that our thoughts, our spiritual awareness, and our beliefs about abundance shape not just our inner world, but also our outer financial reality. Their combined teachings reveal something profound. Spiritual power and financial success are not separate paths, but deeply connected expressions of the same universal laws. When we speak about laws, we are not referring to man-made rules or regulations. We are speaking of universal principles that govern life, principles that operate whether you recognize them or not, just as gravity does. Nightingale and Proctor understood these laws not as distant philosophy, but as practical tools. They showed that if you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with these principles, you create wealth and freedom, not only in the material sense, but in the spiritual sense as well. Today, we will explore 7 of these laws, 7 timeless truths that serve as a bridge between your inner power and the outer prosperity you desire. These laws are not magic tricks or shortcuts. They are the hidden formula that explains why some individuals, starting from nothing, rise to abundance, while others with every advantage still struggle. By understanding and applying these 7 laws, you can reprogram your mind, elevate your consciousness, and open the doors to both spiritual fulfillment and financial wealth. Let's begin with the first law, the law of thought. Earl Nightingale summarized this law in one legendary phrase: "We become what we think about." Your dominant thoughts shape your beliefs, and your beliefs create your actions, which ultimately form your results. This law reveals that the very foundation of success begins in your mind. If you habitually think of limitation, lack, and struggle, you will unconsciously create experiences that reflect those patterns. But when you deliberately focus on abundance, creativity, and possibility, you rewire your subconscious mind to seek and attract opportunities that align with those thoughts. Bob Proctor often explained that the subconscious cannot differentiate between reality and imagination. It simply accepts the images and emotions you impress upon it. By consciously planting thoughts of success, gratitude, and prosperity, you turn your mind into fertile ground. The law of thought is the seed of all achievement. Without mastery of your thinking, no other law can fully operate. With mastery, however, every other law aligns to support you. The second law is the law of belief. Belief is the soil in which your thoughts take root. A thought without belief is like a seed scattered on stone. It cannot grow. Earl Nightingale pointed out that belief systems are often inherited, absorbed from family, culture, or environment. Many of us carry limiting beliefs that whisper, "I'm not worthy," or "money is hard to earn," or "wealth is for others, not for me." These beliefs sabotage success before it even begins. Bob Proctor, through decades of mentorship, showed that belief can be reshaped. By repetition, affirmation, and new experiences, you can uproot limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering ones. For instance, if you repeat daily, "I am worthy of wealth, success, and spiritual fulfillment," and pair that with visualization of living abundantly, your subconscious begins to accept this as truth. Belief transforms possibility into probability. The law of belief states that you will never rise higher than the level of your core beliefs. Change the belief, and your life expands to match it. Now, the third law, the law of expectation. Expectation is the bridge between belief and manifestation. While belief gives energy, expectation gives direction. Earl Nightingale taught that people do not get what they want. They get what they expect. Your expectations influence your behavior, your energy, and even how others respond to you. When you expect success, your body language, tone of voice, and decisions align with that expectation, drawing others toward your vision. Bob Proctor highlighted that expectation is not passive hope, it is active certainty. Hope says, "I wish this could happen." Expectation says, "I know this is happening." That shift in energy is magnetic. Expectation tunes your subconscious mind to opportunities that would otherwise be invisible. It keeps you persistent when challenges arise, because you already know the outcome is secured. This law requires faith, not in blind superstition, but in the predictable response of universal principles. At this stage, you can begin to see how these first three laws intertwine. Thought plants the seed, belief nurtures it, and expectation directs it toward manifestation. Without thought, there is nothing to plant. Without belief, the seed withers. Without expectation, the seed remains dormant. Together, they set the foundation for the next four laws that will carry this journey forward. Let's pause here for reflection. Think of your own life. What are the dominant thoughts that occupy your mind daily? Are they thoughts of limitation or thoughts of abundance? What beliefs about money, success, or worthiness have you inherited, perhaps unconsciously, from your past? Do your expectations reflect hope, or do they radiate certainty? The truth is this: these first three laws are already operating in your life, whether you acknowledge them or not. You are already experiencing the results of your thoughts, beliefs, and expectations. The question is not whether the laws work. The question is whether you are consciously working with them. As Earl Nightingale once said, "Everything begins with an idea." And Bob Proctor would add, when you change the paradigm in your subconscious mind, your whole world changes. These teachings are not abstract. They are the key to aligning your spiritual energy with your financial reality. In the following sections, we will uncover the remaining four laws that complete this formula. They will show you how to harness energy, take inspired action, persist through resistance, and connect service with abundance. Together, these 7 laws form a holistic system, a roadmap to not only create wealth, but to live in harmony with your higher self. For now, remember this: monitor your thoughts, upgrade your beliefs, and raise your expectations. This is where the journey begins, and this is where transformation takes root. Before we move forward, I want to pause for a moment and ask something simple from you. If the ideas you are hearing here resonate with you, if they awaken something in your mind and spirit, then please take a second to like this content. That simple gesture not only shows your support, but also sends a message to your own subconscious that you are serious about learning, serious about growth, and serious about applying these principles in your life. Now, let us continue. We have already explored the first 3 laws: the law of thought, the law of belief, and the law of expectation. Together, they form the invisible roots of wealth, the foundation on which everything else grows. But these laws do not exist in isolation. They prepare you to understand and apply the next principles, which take these invisible roots and turn them into visible fruits. From this point forward, we move from the internal groundwork to the external expression of universal law. The 4th law is the law of vibration and energy. This is a principle that Bob Proctor spoke about constantly, and it is one of the least understood truths by the general public. Everything in the universe is in motion. Nothing is standing still. Every object, every thought, every feeling vibrates at a particular frequency. Wealth has a vibration. Abundance has a vibration. Gratitude has a vibration. And equally, fear, scarcity, and doubt carry their own frequency. Nightingale explained that the mind is a broadcasting station, constantly sending out signals through your dominant thoughts and emotions. The universe, like a receiver, responds by aligning you with people, circumstances, and opportunities that resonate with the same frequency. This means that if your dominant vibration is fear or lack, you will continually attract situations that mirror those vibrations. If, however, your vibration is gratitude, confidence, and abundance, you will magnetize prosperity toward you. Bob Proctor often compared this to tuning a radio. If you want to listen to classical music, you do not tune your radio to a rock station. You must align your frequency with the broadcast you want to receive. The same is true with life. If you want abundance, you cannot vibrate with worry. If you want freedom, you cannot vibrate with fear. This law is simple yet profound. To change your results, you must first change your vibration. And vibration is changed through thought, belief, and feeling. Imagine two individuals walking into a room. One enters full of doubt, shoulders slumped, energy heavy, eyes lowered. The other walks in with clarity, gratitude, and confidence, radiating possibility. Which one do you think attracts more opportunities, better conversations, and unexpected doors opening? This is not coincidence. This is vibration at work. Your energy speaks before you say a single word. The practical application here is to monitor your emotional state. Throughout the day, ask yourself, what vibration am I sending out right now? If you notice yourself vibrating with worry, pause, breathe, and consciously shift. Gratitude is the fastest way to elevate vibration. Joyful visualization is another. Even a simple smile, held intentionally, can shift your state. These small adjustments compound into a magnetic field that reshapes your entire life. Now, let us move to the fifth law, the law of action. This is where many seekers of success stumble. They hear about thought, belief, expectation, and vibration, and they begin to imagine that sitting quietly and visualizing will be enough. But Earl Nightingale was clear. Ideas are worthless unless we act upon them. Bob Proctor echoed the same. Faith without action is dead. Action is the bridge between the spiritual and the material. Without action, even the most powerful thoughts remain trapped in the mind. Action gives life to vision. The law of action states that every step, no matter how small, moves you closer to the manifestation of your goals. And importantly, action does not need to be perfect. In fact, waiting for perfect action is often a disguise for procrastination. Earl Nightingale told a story of a man who wanted to write a book but never began because he was waiting for the perfect time. Year after year, he carried the idea but took no step. Contrast that with another man who simply began writing one page each morning, imperfect but consistent. A year later, he held a finished manuscript. The first man remained a dreamer. The second became an author. The difference was not talent or opportunity. It was action. Bob Proctor taught that action creates feedback, and feedback refines direction. You do not need to see the entire staircase before you climb the first step. Action illuminates the next step. And the beauty is that action, aligned with your vibration and belief, compounds. Small steps taken consistently create momentum, and momentum becomes unstoppable. The sixth law is the law of persistence. Every worthwhile goal encounters resistance. Every great dream is tested. This is not to discourage you, but to strengthen you. Earl Nightingale observed that most people give up too soon, quitting just before they would have reached success. Bob Proctor often said that persistence is the true mark of faith. Think of a seed pushing through the soil. Before it breaks into sunlight, it faces pressure, resistance, and darkness. But the persistence of life itself drives it upward until it blossoms. The same is true for your goals. Obstacles are not signs to quit. They are signs that growth is happening. When you persist, you demonstrate to your subconscious that your vision is non-negotiable. This reprograms your inner paradigm and sends a message to the universe that you are serious. Persistence is not stubbornness. It is intelligent consistency. It is adjusting strategies while never abandoning the goal. It is recognizing that failure is not the opposite of success, but a step toward it. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That is persistence in action. And it is this persistence that transforms dreamers into achievers. Finally, we arrive at the seventh law, the law of giving and service. This is the crown of all the laws, the principle that completes the cycle. Wealth without giving becomes greed. Success without service becomes empty. But when you align your pursuit of prosperity with the genuine intention to serve others, you tap into the deepest source of abundance. Earl Nightingale declared, "Our rewards in life will always be in exact proportion to our contribution." Bob Proctor reinforced that money is nothing more than a reward for service rendered. When you focus on solving problems, creating value, and uplifting others, wealth flows naturally as a byproduct. The law of giving states that what you put into the world returns to you multiplied. Consider the farmer. He does not hoard his seeds out of fear. He plants generously, knowing that one seed produces many times more in harvest. The same is true with giving. When you give your time, your energy, your talent, and even your financial resources, you activate a universal law that ensures abundance returns. But the key is to give with joy, not with resentment. To give with faith, not with fear. Bob Proctor often taught that money is an energy of circulation. When you give, you keep the energy flowing. When you hoard, you block circulation and stagnation follows. Generosity keeps you aligned with the vibration of abundance. And paradoxically, it is those who give the most who often have the most to give. Now let us pause and reflect on all seven laws as a whole. The law of thought, the law of belief, the law of expectation, the law of vibration, the law of action, the law of persistence, and the law of giving. Together, they form a perfect cycle. Thought plants the seed. Belief nourishes it. Expectation directs it. Vibration aligns it. Action expresses it. Persistence sustains it. And giving multiplies it. What emerges is not just financial success, but spiritual fulfillment. You become wealthy not only in your bank account, but in your soul. You awaken each day with purpose, confidence, and joy. You give freely, and you receive abundantly. This is not fantasy. This is law. It works for those who apply it consistently, with faith and determination. So how do you apply this right now? Begin by identifying which of these seven laws you have been neglecting. Are your thoughts disciplined or are they scattered? Do your beliefs empower or sabotage you? Do you truly expect success or do you quietly expect disappointment? What is your dominant vibration each day? Are you acting on your ideas or just thinking about them? Do you persist when challenged or do you retreat? And finally, do you give generously, trusting the law of return, or do you withhold out of fear? As you answer these questions, you reveal the gaps in your practice. And by addressing those gaps, you align more fully with the universal principles that guarantee abundance. Remember, Earl Nightingale and Bob Proctor were not extraordinary because of luck. They were ordinary men who discovered extraordinary laws, applied them, and taught them. Their lives stand as proof that anyone, regardless of background, can unlock spiritual power and financial success by aligning with these truths. As you continue this journey, make a commitment to practice these laws daily. Write them down, reflect on them. Apply them in small, practical ways. Over time, you will see your thoughts sharpen, your confidence grow, your results expand, and your sense of purpose deepen. This is the promise of universal law, and it is available to you now. Understanding the seven laws is one thing. Living them daily is another. Earl Nightingale used to say that knowledge without application is like a book left unopened. It contains power, but that power remains dormant until you use it. Bob Proctor echoed this by emphasizing that awareness is the beginning, but integration is the transformation. So how do we integrate these laws into modern life? How do we take the wisdom of thought, belief, expectation, vibration, action, persistence, and giving, and weave them into our careers, businesses, relationships, and personal development? Let us begin with the law of thought. Imagine for a moment that your mind is like a projector and your life is the screen. Whatever film you place in the projector becomes the reality you see. If you fill your mind daily with worry, complaints, and fear, that becomes the film playing on the screen of your life. If instead, you deliberately fill your mind with visions of health, prosperity, and gratitude, you change the film, and thus, the experience. Practical application. Dedicate 15 minutes each morning to intentional thought. Write down what you want your life to look like in vivid detail. Describe the financial freedom, the home, the relationships, the contribution you wish to make. Then close your eyes and imagine yourself living that reality. This exercise is not fantasy. It is training your subconscious mind. Over time, it becomes the new normal for your brain, and your actions begin to align naturally with that vision. Now consider the law of belief. If thoughts are seeds, belief is the soil. Poor soil cannot produce abundant harvests. Ask yourself, what beliefs about money and success have you inherited? Perhaps you grew up hearing that money is the root of all evil, or that rich people are greedy. Those beliefs, even if spoken casually, lodge themselves in your subconscious and create invisible barriers. To shift belief, practice conscious reprogramming. Bob Proctor advised using affirmations combined with emotion and repetition. For example, I am worthy of abundance. Wealth flows to me in increasing amounts from multiple sources. At first, this may feel unnatural, but persistence is key. Over weeks and months, the old beliefs weaken and the new ones take root. Belief is not changed overnight, but with consistent effort, it transforms. The law of expectation brings this further. Have you noticed how some people seem to always get opportunities while others struggle? Much of that difference lies in expectation. A person who expects good things carries themselves differently. Their handshake is firmer, their eyes brighter, their energy magnetic. Opportunities are drawn to them. On the other hand, someone who expects failure often radiates hesitation, and others unconsciously mirror that back. In business, expectation is crucial. If you walk into a meeting expecting rejection, your tone and body language betray you. If you expect partnership and success, you project confidence that attracts agreement. Earl Nightingale was clear. People don't get what they want, they get what they expect. The law of vibration is perhaps the most subtle, yet most powerful. In today's world, surrounded by technology and constant noise, it is easy to slip into low vibrations of stress, comparison, and anxiety. Yet your vibration is the signal you send to the universe. Simple practices such as meditation, deep breathing, music, gratitude journaling, or even a walk in nature can elevate your vibration. Bob Proctor often told his students, check your vibration, because that determines what you attract. Action is where the invisible becomes visible. No wealth was ever created without consistent action. But here is a key insight. Not all action is equal. There is busy work and there is inspired action. Inspired action comes from alignment with vision and vibration. It feels purposeful, even if challenging. Busy work, on the other hand, often drains energy without producing results. To apply the law of action, prioritize inspired steps. Each day, ask yourself, what one action, if I take it today, will move me closer to my vision? Then do it, regardless of fear. Persistence is the law that separates the dreamers from the achievers. Every person who ever accomplished something worthwhile faced setbacks. Walt Disney was fired from a job for lacking imagination. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. Both persisted. Bob Proctor himself faced rejection early in his career, but kept moving. Persistence transforms obstacles into stepping stones. Finally, the law of giving completes the cycle. True prosperity is not about hoarding wealth, but circulating it. Giving creates space for receiving. When you give value, Whether through kindness, service, or financial generosity, you affirm abundance. The paradox is that the more you give, the more you receive, because you keep the energy of wealth flowing. Let's connect these laws with modern examples. Think of entrepreneurs who built businesses not just to make money, but to serve others. Their focus on contribution magnetized wealth. Or consider the individual who shifted their belief about money from scarcity to abundance, and suddenly began seeing opportunities everywhere. These are not coincidences. They are the laws in action. It's important to remember that these laws are not reserved for a chosen few. They are universal, accessible to anyone willing to practice them. Whether you are a student, an employee, a business owner, or a parent, these principles apply. Your thoughts, beliefs, expectations, vibrations, actions, persistence, and giving shape your reality daily. So now I ask you, which of these 7 laws resonates most with you? Which do you feel called to apply immediately? Take a moment to reflect, and if you feel inspired, share your answer. Leave a comment. Engaging with this question not only reinforces your learning, but also helps others who are on the same journey. Remember, you are not a passive observer of life. You are a co-creator. The laws work for you when you work with them. Apply them consistently, and you will see both spiritual fulfillment and financial success manifest in your reality. When the laws of thought, belief, expectation, vibration, action, persistence, and giving are understood only as ideas, they stay abstract. When they are lived as routines, rituals, and responses to reality, they become power. This next section is not about more theory. It is about practical translation, how to move from knowing to doing, step by step, day by day. If you are serious about connecting your spiritual power with financial success, you need habits, practices, scripts, and measurable actions that rewire your mind and your life. Here are precise, simple, repeatable methods you can use starting today. Start with a short daily morning protocol that anchors all 7 laws into one flow. This practice takes 12 to 20 minutes and sets the tone for your entire day. Step 1. Gratitude for 2 minutes. Before you check your phone, list aloud 3 specific things you are grateful for. Not vague ideas, but specific facts. The warm water you had this morning, the call you received yesterday, the person who helped you. Gratitude raises your vibration quickly. Step 2. Clarity for 5 minutes. Take a goal card or notebook and write one financial or service goal in present tense, with numbers and dates if possible. Example: I earned $6,000 a month from recurring services by December 1st. Writing cements a thought into belief. Step 3. Visualization for 3 minutes. Close your eyes and see one scene in vivid detail. You reading a bank statement showing the number, thanking a client, giving to charity. Feel the feelings as if it's real. Step 4. An affirmation for 2 minutes. Speak one short, emotional sentence repeatedly. I deserve abundance and I deliver value. Feel it when you say it. Step 5. One action to take right away. Choose a single inspired action you will complete before noon. This ties thought to immediate action and builds momentum. Now let's expand each law into a set of practical tools. For the law of thought, think like an editor. You are not a passive receiver of random ideas. Become a careful editor of your inner script. Whenever a worry or scarcity thought arises, label it. That's scarcity. Then swap it immediately with a chosen thought, a solution, a possibility, a question that opens doors, like, what is one small step I can take to create income today? Repetition trains the mind to prefer constructive questions. Use sticky notes in visible places that remind you to pause and switch the script. Use a single short prompt for the whole day, like, create value, receive value, and repeat it whenever negative thoughts appear. For the law of belief, do a belief inventory. Take an hour this week to list statements you have heard about money. Money is hard. Or, rich people are selfish. Or, I'm not good with numbers. Put a check next to beliefs that feel true to you. For each limiting belief, write an empowering opposite and create a simple proof action you can take this week that will contradict the old belief. If you think money is hard, a proof action might be to track 3 small ways money came into your life this week. Evidence breaks beliefs. Repeat the new belief in front of a mirror every morning for 30 days while tapping your chest with your hand, because the emotional anchor strengthens the new neural path. For the law of expectation, calibrate public posture and internal forecast. Expectation influences how other people perceive you. Practice this before any meeting or pitch. Rehearse a 30-second mental script where you see the other person responding positively. Imagine their smile, their nod, their agreement. Then stand up straight, breathe, and speak from that posture of expectation. Notice how people respond to someone who already expects success. Keep a short log. Whenever you expected a positive result and it happened, write it down. You are training your internal radar to notice outcomes that match your higher expectation. For the law of vibration and energy, create an environmental vibration plan. Your environment speaks to your nervous system. Remove 3 common vibration drains: constant news scrolling, draining social feeds, and clutter in your work area. Replace them with 3 vibration boosters: a short playlist that lifts you, a 5-minute breathing practice before high-focus work, and a small visual reminder of your service goal. Use technology to help. Set a daily focus block on your calendar and switch your phone to Do Not Disturb during it. Measure your energy. At start and end of each day, rate your vibration 1 to 10. Track patterns. Small improvements compound into a consistently higher baseline vibration. For the law of action, implement the 2-hour priority rule. Identify the 2 hours each day when you are most productive. Block them for high-value work and protect them fiercely. High-value work is whatever directly moves money, influence, or service forward. Client calls, product creation, sales conversations, marketing that converts. Use a timer, Pomodoro, to maintain focus. Record 3 small wins after those 2 hours. This reinforces the habit and gives your subconscious proof that your actions create change. For the law of persistence, create a persistence portfolio. Keep a single document where you record your attempts, ideas tried, outcomes, what you learned, and what you will change next. Persistence becomes intelligent when you iterate. Instead of stubbornly repeating the same failing action, tweak the approach and record the result. For example, if you launched an ad and it didn't convert, note the headline, the image, the audience, and change 1 variable. Set a minimum number of experiments per month, 3 to 5, and stick with them. The portfolio shows progress even when the outer results lag. For the law of giving, design a giving system. Decide how you will give 3 times each month: time, expertise, and money. For time, commit an hour to mentor someone or answer useful LinkedIn messages. For expertise, offer a free consultation to a small business in your community. For money, set aside a fixed percentage, even 1%, into a giving pot, and decide in advance which causes it will support. Giving with a plan removes guilt and keeps energy flowing. Notice how giving shifts your internal feeling of abundance immediately. Let's make these practical ideas concrete with modern examples you can relate to. If you are an employee who wants higher income, start inside your job. Use the law of thought to imagine the next level role you want. Use the law of belief to identify limiting ideas like, "My employer doesn't promote people like me," and replace them with, "I bring measurable value." Use the law of expectation to enter every performance conversation expecting a constructive outcome. Use the law of vibration to maintain a calm, confident presence. Use the law of action by preparing one small project that demonstrates your capacity, a proposal to improve a metric or process. Use the law of persistence to follow up and iteratively refine your proposal. Use the law of giving to mentor a colleague so you become known as someone who raises the whole team. That reputation often accelerates salary increases and promotion. If you are an entrepreneur, your daily practice should focus on value creation and scale. Start with a crisp, measurable offer. What problem are you solving? For whom and for how much? Use the law of thought to think in terms of systems rather than tasks. Replace "I must do everything" with "I must create systems." Use the law of belief to uproot the story "I'm not ready" and replace it with proof actions like launching a minimum viable offer this week. Use the law of expectation to imagine demand and glorious user testimonials. Tune your vibration with community. Surround yourself with founders who are optimistic and proactive. Use the law of action to run weekly experiments, a new landing page, a new partnership, a new email subject line. Use the law of persistence to iterate across months, not hours. And use the law of giving to design referral and partnership programs that reward generosity and value, not hoarding. If you want to invest or build passive income, begin with education and small steps. Replace panic-based thoughts with learning-focused thoughts. What can I learn about real estate, shares, or passive business this week? Build belief by reading success stories and small wins, then test expectation with micro-investments or paper trading. Keep your vibration steady by limiting exposure to market fear and news cycles. Take action by investing a small, fixed amount monthly. Persist through volatility by adhering to a plan. Give by sharing knowledge with a friend who might benefit. Over time, disciplined, repeated, and emotionally intelligent decisions will compound. Now, some precise rituals and scripts you can use immediately. These are short, but they anchor practice. Morning visualization script, 3 minutes. Close your eyes. See the number on your bank account. Feel the relief. Hear the voice of someone thanking you for the work you did. See the scene in detail for 60 seconds. Stay with the feeling of contribution for another 60 seconds. Now open your eyes and write one action you will take in the next 2 hours to honor that vision. Affirmation script, 1-2 minutes. Say aloud 3 times with feeling. I am worthy of abundance. I create value every day. I serve and receive. Let each line land in your chest and make a single small note in your journal of a proof from yesterday that supports this truth. Fear reframe question. When fear appears, ask, what is the smallest action I can take right now to move forward despite fear? Take that action. Track it. Gratitude practice, 60 seconds. List 3 details today you are grateful for and 1 small thing to appreciate about your finances. Write them down and put the notes somewhere visible. Weekly review 2030 minutes. Every Sunday, review wins and lessons. Update your persistence portfolio. Set 3 priority actions for the week. Adjust expectations and choose one person to serve deeply this week. Now, how do you measure progress so your faith is grounded in evidence? Measurement is a spiritual discipline. Create a simple dashboard. Number of inspired actions taken this week. Number of experiments run. Leads created. Money earned. Money given. Vibrational rating average this week. And gratitude items recorded. At the end of each month, review trends. If the actions are consistent but results are lagging, examine belief and expectation. If the belief and expectation are strong but actions are inconsistent, focus on discipline and environment. The dashboard converts faith into feedback. Pitfalls to avoid. First, do not confuse busyness with action. Filling your calendar with activity is not the same as high-leverage action. Ask, does this action move me closer to the outcome? Second, Avoid comparison traps on social media. Other people's highlight reels distort your vibration. Use social feeds as tools, not emotional drains. Third, do not expect immediate proof of inner work in the outer world. Alignment often matures slowly. Keep the faith through patient, intelligent persistence. Stories help make these laws vivid. Earl Nightingale's own life began with a small wartime job and a determination to understand success. He recorded the ideas that would become the strangest secret and built a life by teaching that one simple law: we become what we think about. Bob Proctor came from humble circumstances, learned to read and reprogram himself, and then devoted decades to helping others shift paradigms. Both men lived these principles daily, small practices repeated over years. Their results were not overnight miracles. They were long, steady demonstrations of law. Let me give you one modern case study that illustrates all 7 laws at work. A young woman, a graphic designer, wanted to break free from low-paying gigs and build a recurring revenue design studio. She began with thought. She imagined a studio that charged premium rates. She worked on belief. She paid for a short coaching program and began affirming that her skills created measurable value for clients. She adjusted expectation. In meetings, she expected respect and fair pricing. She raised vibration. She decluttered her workspace, limited negative feeds, and added a playlist that put her in a creative state. She took action. She built a single digital product and tested it with her network. She persisted. After multiple revisions and months of outreach, she landed her first retainer. She gave back. She mentored 2 juniors and shared her template library, which increased referrals. Within a year, her income grew and her sense of meaning expanded. This is not a unique tale. It is what happens when laws are applied. Next, design a 30-day sprint to accelerate changes. Day 1, belief inventory and goal writing. Days 2 to 7, morning protocol and 1 inspired action per day. Week 2, run 3 experiments: email, landing page, offer. Week 3, evaluate, tweak, and scale the most promising experiment. Week 4, give time and value to someone and measure the feedback. At the end of 30 days, review the dashboard. Repeat the sprint each quarter. Quick, focused sprints create the momentum persistence needs. For teams and leaders, these laws scale. If you manage people, teach the frameworks. Start meetings with 1 minute of gratitude. Set clear expectation language. We expect X by Y date. Restructure feedback to be value-focused. And celebrate giving. Leaders who model these habits change company vibration and performance quickly. Studies show culture follows the energy of leadership. This is a practical use of the law of vibration. Finally, remember your inner life matters ethically. When you pursue wealth with spiritual alignment, choose integrity. The law of giving is not transactional or manipulative. Giving from empty scarcity is not service. Give because you genuinely care, because you want to improve others' lives. When your motive is pure and your actions aligned, material reward follows naturally and sustainably. Now take a breath. You have practical steps, scripts, and a plan. The work ahead is simple, but not always easy. It requires repetition, honest measurement, and community. If you want one immediate assignment, do this now. Write your single most meaningful financial goal in present tense. State one proof action you will do in the next 24 hours, and make a decision to practice the morning protocol for 30 days. That single chain of commitment ties thought, belief, expectation, vibration, action, persistence, and giving into a living flow. Which of these practices will you try first? Share in the comments one action you will take in the next 24 hours. Your commitment written publicly becomes a stronger force for change and may inspire someone else to start. When we truly understand the connection between our spiritual awareness and our financial success, everything begins to shift. Earl Nightingale and Bob Proctor often emphasize that wealth is not merely a matter of working harder or being smarter. It is fundamentally about aligning our mindset, energy, and actions with the universal laws that govern prosperity. The first law is the law of thought. Everything begins with a thought. What you consistently think about shapes the reality you experience. Nightingale said, "We become what we think about." This is not a casual statement. It is the very foundation of creating wealth. If your mind is consumed with doubts, limitations, or scarcity, those are the conditions you attract into your life. Conversely, by consistently focusing on abundance, opportunity, and the life you desire, you set in motion forces that draw prosperity to you. Thought, when focused with purpose, becomes a powerful magnet for wealth. The second law is the law of belief. Bob Proctor often taught that belief is the invisible force that fuels action. It is not enough to want wealth or success. You must believe it is possible for you. Limiting beliefs are the invisible chains that hold most people back. These beliefs are often formed early in life, shaped by family, society, and past experiences. To unlock financial success, you must first identify these limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering ones. For example, replacing "I am not capable of earning more" with "I am fully capable of creating abundant wealth" rewires your mind for success. Every action you take after reinforcing this belief carries much more energy and potential because it is no longer battling doubt. The third law is the law of visualization. Seeing your desired outcome vividly and consistently in your mind activates your subconscious mind, which is constantly working behind the scenes to turn thoughts into reality. Visualization is not daydreaming, it is a deliberate, focused practice that programs your mind to recognize and seize opportunities that align with your vision. Earl Nightingale often highlighted that successful people see the end result before it materializes. This clarity creates a roadmap for your actions, making them purposeful and aligned with your ultimate goals. Visualization strengthens your mental image of success so powerfully that your subconscious mind begins to orchestrate circumstances and decisions that bring it to life. The fourth law is the law of gratitude. Expressing genuine gratitude for what you already have shifts your energy into a higher frequency, attracting more reasons to be grateful. Both Nightingale and Proctor emphasize that people who consistently practice gratitude experience abundance on multiple levels. Gratitude transforms your perception from lack to sufficiency, and sufficiency naturally attracts more. By acknowledging the resources, opportunities, and blessings already present in your life, you align yourself with the flow of prosperity. When you are grateful, your mind no longer focuses on scarcity or limitation. Instead, it becomes a fertile ground for new opportunities, ideas, and wealth to manifest. The fifth law is the law of action. Spiritual awareness and mental focus are powerful, but they must be accompanied by consistent, inspired action. Nightingale reminded us that the universe rewards movement. Action does not mean haphazardly doing things. It means taking deliberate steps that are aligned with your goals and vision. Action amplifies your thoughts, beliefs, and visualizations. Without it, ideas remain dormant, and potential wealth never materializes. Bob Proctor often pointed out that action fueled by belief and visualization produces exponential results. The key is to act decisively, with confidence, and without overthinking, trusting that the path is revealed as you move forward. The sixth law is the law of persistence. Wealth creation is rarely instant. There will be setbacks, challenges, and moments of doubt. Persistence is what separates those who achieve financial freedom from those who give up. Both Nightingale and Proctor emphasize that success is the sum of small, consistent efforts compounded over time. The person who persists through difficulty maintains focus on their vision and refuses to be derailed by temporary failures develops resilience and strength. Every challenge becomes a lesson, every obstacle an opportunity to grow stronger. Persistence transforms adversity into a stepping stone toward prosperity. The seventh law is the law of giving. Abundance flows when it is shared. Spirituality teaches that wealth is not just about accumulation, but also about contribution. Proctor and Nightingale often highlighted that giving creates a circulation of energy that returns multiplied. When you give, whether it is money, time, knowledge, or support, you align with a universal principle. The more you contribute, the more you receive. Giving also fosters a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. It reinforces the belief that there is always enough, that resources are limitless, and that sharing does not diminish your own prosperity. By embracing generosity, you attract opportunities, alliances, and wealth in ways that purely self-focused approaches cannot. Understanding and applying these 7 laws creates a powerful synergy between spiritual consciousness and financial achievement. Thought, belief, visualization, gratitude, action, persistence, and giving are not isolated practices. They are interconnected forces that amplify each other. By mastering these laws, you create a foundation for wealth that is both enduring and aligned with your higher purpose. Nightingale often said that wealth without purpose is empty, and Proctor stressed that true prosperity is measured not only by money, but by the fulfillment and impact it enables. When you harmonize your spiritual energy with your financial goals, success is inevitable. Your mind is the most potent tool you possess. By focusing it deliberately, nurturing empowering beliefs, vividly imagining your desired outcomes, practicing gratitude, taking inspired action, persisting through challenges, and giving generously, you become a magnet for wealth and abundance. These principles are timeless because they are grounded in universal laws. Regardless of the economy, your background, or circumstances, they remain constant. Mastery of these laws ensures that your financial journey is not left to chance, but is guided by intention, alignment, and the natural flow of universal energy. The transformative power of applying these laws lies not just in the external results, but in the internal evolution. As your wealth grows, so does your sense of self-worth, confidence, and clarity of purpose. Your ability to navigate life's challenges strengthens, and your influence expands. The law of attraction is not mystical. It is a practical tool that allows your spiritual and mental faculties to work in harmony with the physical reality. Nightingale and Proctor's teachings remind us that prosperity is not about luck. It is about deliberate alignment with principles that govern success. When you integrate these 7 laws into daily practice, you unlock a life of abundance, freedom, and meaningful achievement. The mind is the ultimate tool for creating wealth, but most people use only a fraction of its potential. Earl Nightingale and Bob Proctor emphasized that the key to financial freedom lies not in working harder, but in thinking differently. Thoughts, when properly directed, become the seeds of reality. Every belief you hold, whether conscious or subconscious, shapes your actions and decisions. Wealth is attracted to those who understand that money is energy, and energy responds to vibration. The more consistently you maintain a mindset of abundance, possibility, and opportunity, the more you align yourself with financial success. It all begins with awareness. Recognizing the mental patterns that limit your potential is crucial. Nightingale taught that most people live under self-imposed limitations, repeating stories of scarcity and failure. By observing these patterns without judgment, you can begin to replace them with empowering beliefs. Proctor often highlighted that changing your mental habits is the most direct route to transforming your external reality. You are not your thoughts, but you have the ability to guide them. When you take responsibility for your thinking, you regain control over the outcomes you attract. Visualization is the bridge between thought and reality. By vividly imagining the life you desire, you signal to your subconscious mind what you want to manifest. This is not mere fantasy, it is intentional programming. When practiced consistently, visualization aligns your intuition, decisions, and actions with your goals. Nightingale frequently emphasized that successful individuals see the end before it comes into view. This clarity enables the mind to focus on solutions, opportunities, and the pathways that lead directly to wealth. Gratitude is another essential element. By appreciating what you already have, you shift your focus from lack to abundance. Proctor taught that gratitude elevates your energy and opens the door for more blessings to flow. When you are thankful for what is present, your mind naturally attracts additional reasons for gratitude, creating a cycle of prosperity. This shift in perspective is subtle but transformative, changing how you perceive obstacles and opportunities. Action remains the catalyst that transforms thought into tangible results. Inspired, deliberate action ensures that your ideas and visualizations materialize. It is not enough to merely think positively or imagine wealth. Consistent steps aligned with your vision are required. Every choice, decision, and effort compounds over time. Persistence reinforces this process. Challenges will arise, but each setback is an opportunity to strengthen your resolve and refine your strategy. Wealth is rarely instant, but steady, focused effort produces lasting results. Generosity amplifies abundance. Proctor often emphasized that giving, whether through money, time, or support, creates circulation. Resources expand when shared. By contributing to others, you reinforce the mindset that there is more than enough, and you attract greater prosperity in return. Wealth is not solely about accumulation. It is about flow, circulation, and alignment with universal principles. Nightingale and Proctor's teachings remind us that financial success is a reflection of inner alignment, clarity of thought, and conscious participation in life's opportunities. By mastering the principles of awareness, belief, visualization, gratitude, action, persistence, and giving, you unlock your mind's capacity to generate limitless wealth. The process is both practical and spiritual, harmonizing mental clarity with real-world results. Your mindset determines the trajectory of your financial life. When fully understood and applied, the teachings of Earl Nightingale and Bob Proctor empower you to step into a reality where abundance, freedom, and fulfillment are not dreams, but tangible outcomes. Financial freedom is not an accident. It is a consequence of deliberate mental discipline. Earl Nightingale and Bob Proctor repeatedly taught that your thoughts, beliefs, and mental habits dictate your financial reality. The most successful individuals are those who consciously shape their thinking, focusing on opportunities rather than limitations. Wealth does not come from luck or circumstance. It comes from aligning your mental energy with the principles that govern success. Every idea you nurture in your mind has the potential to manifest as a real-world result if it is reinforced with clarity, belief, and action. To begin mastering your mind, you must first cultivate awareness. Observe the recurring thoughts that dominate your mind. Are they thoughts of scarcity, fear, or doubt? Nightingale emphasized that most people unknowingly sabotage their potential by entertaining negative or limiting beliefs. Recognizing these patterns allows you to consciously redirect your mental energy toward constructive and empowering thoughts. This conscious mental practice is the foundation upon which financial success is built. Belief is the engine that drives manifestation. Bob Proctor often stressed that you cannot achieve what you do not believe is possible. True belief creates a resonance within the subconscious mind, which then influences your decisions, behaviors, and interactions. By consistently affirming your capacity to achieve wealth and abundance, you condition your mind to identify opportunities, attract resources, and take confident actions. Belief is not passive. It actively transforms your mindset and creates the conditions for prosperity. Visualization is a key tool for translating your mental intentions into reality. By vividly imagining the life you desire, you impress upon your subconscious mind a clear blueprint for action. Nightingale described this as seeing the end before it comes into view, allowing your mind to navigate toward the desired outcome naturally. Visualization must be detailed, emotional, and consistent. The more you engage your senses and emotions in this process, the stronger the signal you send to your subconscious. Action is the bridge between intention and outcome. Thought alone is insufficient. Deliberate and persistent action transforms mental concepts into tangible results. Each step, no matter how small, compounds over time and moves you closer to your goals. Proctor emphasized that consistent, inspired action distinguishes those who succeed from those who merely dream. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable, but they serve to refine your strategy, enhance resilience, and strengthen your commitment. Gratitude and generosity magnify abundance. Appreciating what you already have shifts your mindset from lack to plenty, elevating your mental energy and attracting more reasons for gratitude. Similarly, sharing your resources creates a flow that invites greater prosperity. Nightingale and Proctor taught that wealth is not simply accumulated, it circulates. By aligning your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with principles of abundance, you create a harmonious system where success is not only achievable, but sustainable. By mastering these principles, awareness, belief, visualization, action, persistence, gratitude, and generosity, you transform your mind into a powerful engine for financial freedom. This is the essence of Earl Nightingale and Bob Proctor's teachings. Wealth is not a distant dream, but a natural outcome of disciplined, intentional thought. When your mind is properly aligned, your financial reality becomes a reflection of your inner clarity, focus, and conscious participation in life's abundant opportunities. Success and wealth are not random events. They are the natural outcome of disciplined thought, clear intention, and consistent action. Earl Nightingale and Bob Proctor emphasized that the mind is the most powerful tool in shaping reality. Every belief, thought, and mental habit contributes to your financial and personal destiny. The first step toward abundance is understanding that your thoughts are seeds. Whatever you plan and nurture in your mind will grow into your experiences. To truly harness this power, you must first become conscious of the patterns that dominate your thinking. Are your thoughts aligned with limitation or possibility? Nightingale warned that most people unknowingly create obstacles simply by dwelling on what they fear or lack. Recognizing these thought patterns allows you to consciously redirect mental energy toward constructive and empowering ideas. This deliberate focus is the foundation of a prosperous life. Belief is a catalyst for manifestation. Bob Proctor often stressed that achieving anything beyond your current circumstances requires unwavering belief. True belief reshapes the subconscious mind, influencing your decisions and behaviors in ways that align with success. When you consistently affirm your capacity for wealth and abundance, your mind begins to recognize opportunities, attract resources, and generate the confidence needed to act. Belief is not passive. It actively molds your reality. Visualization strengthens this alignment between thought and reality. By vividly imagining the life you desire, you provide a clear blueprint for your subconscious to follow. Nightingale described this as seeing the end before it comes into view. The more detail, emotion, and sensory engagement you invest in this process, the stronger your subconscious programming becomes. This clarity transforms dreams into actionable goals. Action bridges the gap between intention and outcome. Thoughts alone cannot generate wealth. They require deliberate and persistent action. Each step forward, no matter how small, compounds over time and moves you closer to your goals. Proctor emphasized that inspired and consistent action separates those who succeed from those who merely dream. Challenges are inevitable, but they refine strategies, enhance resilience, and strengthen commitment. Gratitude and generosity amplify abundance. Appreciating what you already have shifts your mindset from scarcity to plenty, attracting more opportunities. Sharing your wealth, resources, and knowledge generates a positive flow that reinforces prosperity. Nightingale and Proctor taught that wealth is meant to circulate. By aligning thoughts, beliefs, and actions with principles of abundance, you create a sustainable system where success naturally follows. Mastering your mind is mastering your life. Awareness, belief, visualization, action, persistence, gratitude, and generosity form a cohesive framework for creating financial freedom. Wealth is not a distant dream. It is the natural product of intentional, disciplined thought. When your mental energy is focused, your external reality inevitably reflects your inner clarity and conscious engagement with life's abundant opportunities. Earl Nightingale plus Bob Proctor consistently reminded us that we are architects of our destiny. Financial success is not determined by luck or circumstance, but by the alignment of your mind, heart, and actions with universal principles. By consciously choosing thoughts that empower, beliefs that expand, and actions that propel, you enter the flow of prosperity. The spiritual secret of wealth is simple yet profound. Nurture your mind, master your emotions, act with purpose, and abundance follows.